believe I forgot this because I tell this. Oh, hello, cat. Hold on. Where did you come from? Sorry. Interrupt us, girl. Let go, let go, let go. So sorry. We'll be editing that out. Yeah. All right. Take two.
I'm Jake Jacobs, and you're listening to What the Fuck? First guest is Samantha, and Samantha is one of my colleagues. With the job that we do, there's a lot of material to choose from, but it's not going to be just about work. If you've listened to the intro, anything that happens in everyday life, anything that could make you even think or utter, either under your breath or out loud, this phrase, what the fuck, is what we're talking about. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You've heard the intro. What do you think of the format of the show?
I mean, it's definitely something that intrigues me and I'm interested in because I deal with it on a daily basis. Both, like you said, with our line of work. I also have a teenager, so between the two, there's a lot of what the fuck moments that happen on a daily basis.
Understand. I was watching the football game last night, and I'm not a Chiefs fan, so that there was plenty of what the fuck moments for me. So
yeah, the last 2 minutes of the game.
yeah, they've barely been squeaking by this whole season, but yet they're still winning. So yeah, we'll see.
They always pull it out in the end.
So I think the best way to kick this off, and no pressure, by the way, you are the first guest on this show.
My first podcast as well, so breaking barriers today.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you said it, and how did you say it? Was it a question? Was it said in exasperation? Like, give me the context.
It was probably, honestly, yesterday with my teenager. While we were out shopping, she decided that she was going to wander off in the store and come back. And for context, she's only 14. And so she wandered. I mean, I say only 14. I mean, I let her wander sometimes. But no, she wanders off, comes back, and is bringing me clothes that she wants to buy that I'm like, all right, you're 14. You're wanting me to buy you crop tops and mini skirts. I'm like, sis, you're not 18. I said, when you're 18, you can buy this, you can wear this, whatever. And she'll sit there and be like, but mom, the other kids in school wear this. I said, in what world are there other parents letting their teenage children wear stuff like this? I'm like, when I was younger, trust me, I used to wear this kind of stuff behind my parents' back. But that's because I would get it from my friends or whatever. I was like, but no. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck? No, you're not wearing this kind of stuff at 14 years old.
So when you said it, or when you thought it, or however it came out, it was a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably more like a question.
Yeah.
Always trying to push the boundaries. She thinks she's older than she is.
Yeah, well, teenagers will do that to you. Thank God I don't have teenagers anymore, but so that's a good one. For me, the last time I said it was actually this morning when I woke up, knowing that I was going to be doing this podcast with you this morning. I woke up with a little bit of a scratchy throat, a little bit of congestion there. So my first thought, I didn't say it, but my first thought was, what the fuck?
No. Be like the day of.
Like, seriously, this day?
Just my luck.
It was kind of like in context when something happens, and maybe sometimes instead of saying what the fuck, you're like, really? Which kind of has the same context, it's like a rated G version of saying it.
It just feels like what the fuck is a more, like, it's universal because of how versatile the word in and of itself is. But like, yeah, it definitely can be replaced so many different things in so many different contexts that it's like, it's so wild that it can be utilized so frequently for so many attributes that it goes towards. So I recently got a tattoo and I was like, the whole time, I think it took maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes most for the tattoo because it's just a small one. And like, I'm sitting there talking to her as she's doing it and she goes, okay, I'm done. I'm like, you started? What?
Right. We're done?
What the fuck? How was that so quick and literally painless? Like, it's up on my shoulder blade and I was like, oh, wow. I don't remember them being this not painful because I've got, like, with this one now, I think 11 or 12 tattoos. And most of them are from the waist down because for the longest time I was under the delusion that I was going to get some type of high ranking corporate job and couldn't have anything showing. And I was like, yeah, that's never going to happen. So I don't care anymore. But the ones in the bottom half, they weren't that bad. But I was like, wow, everybody says like your shoulder, because it's like on the bone and everything. They're like, oh, it's going to hurt so bad. And I'm like, I felt nothing, literally nothing. So I was like, well, now I want another one. They're addicting.
Yeah, they are. I have a few, and I know the worst one for me was I have one on my chest. The other ones I had weren't that bad. I'm like, everyone always says, "Oh, tattoos don't hurt." Well, I was one of those people that said that until I got this one, and the closer he got to my armpit, I was going out of my mind. Like it was that hurt. I was like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck? This is not supposed to be painful. Like this goes against everything that I was saying before I came
Right.
here today." Well, he was doing the outline and just in black. When he got the outline done, I'm like, dude, I need to step out. Then there was a bar next door. I'm like, I need to go have a shot. He goes, no, I'm not doing that. He said, I don't tattoo people that have been drinking or in the process of
You
drinking.
actually bleed more.
Yeah. He said, if you need a break, go out and smoke a cigarette. That was back when I smoked cigarettes. He's like, we'll go out, we'll have a smoke. He said, but no alcohol. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously? so,
Because
so
you
yeah.
still got to get to the shading, and the shading is the worst part.
Well, yeah, the shading needles have more. It's not just one needle now. It's like multiple needles in there. So
Especially nowadays, they have ones that have like upwards of like 20 needles in them to like if you're doing a real big piece.
yeah.
And I'm like,
The second question I would ask you is, what was your funniest what the fuck moment, if you had to pick one?
funniest what the fuck moment I had was when I worked at we had a restaurant when I was in high school and just out of high school for a couple years before the 2007 recession hit, and we unfortunately had to shut down. But it was a seafood restaurant. My whole family is like in the seafood industry, so like they're on my dad's side, so it's big in our family. And back when I was probably like 19 or 20, we had a customer come in. It was him, wife, and I want to say 6 kids. So it was 8 of them. And the way that our restaurant worked is we had an automatic gratuity for parties of 8 and over.
Okay.
And so whether they are tiny humans or full grown humans,
Yeah.
8 is 8. So the whole time I'm serving them, they're doing, because they came in during happy hour. They're ordering all this happy hour stuff like shrimp, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I am literally like, we weren't that busy. So I was like materializing this as quickly as humanly possible, like, because we weren't that busy. Getting him all his stuff, getting the kids' meals, getting drinks, blah, 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 whatever. They get the check and they're like, why is this gratuity? And I'm like, I explained this to y'all at the beginning of this interaction. Don't even ask me why there's on there. You know why it's on there.
Exactly.
And so he starts bitch moaning and complaining about it. And the wife goes to take the kids out to the car. He does eventually pay, but then they leave. But then he walks back in and he goes, you know what? No, I want to talk to your manager. I said, bet. 'Cause my father's my manager because he's the owner.
Right.
So I'm like, but he doesn't know that. So I'm like, okay. So I go get my dad and I'm like, hey, yo, dad. I was like, here's the deal. I was literally like, if I could have Star Trek beamed me up this food to their table any faster, I would have. But literally, it was like, put the order in. It came up within like 2 minutes and it was out of the table. I promise you, shit was going out quick.
Right.
So he's like, all right, I got this. So we both go out and stand there. And I'm standing next to my father, like, here's the manager. And so he's talking to my dad. And he's like, she was horrible. Service was horrible. Food was not coming out fast enough. Drinks were not coming out fast enough. Just bitch moaning, complaining, typical Karen behavior from this man.
Or Ken.
In the early 2000s. And so he's sitting there. He's like, what are you going to do about it? He goes, well, I personally was walking the floor and I did not see the same thing that you're describing to me now. Well, I want her fired. And he goes, oh, you want me to fire my daughter? And this man's eyes bugged out of his brain. And he was like, I'm going to report you to the Better Business Bureau. And then my dad goes, I'm going to report you to the Better People Bureau. Get out of my restaurant. And I just thought it was the funniest fucking thing on the face of the earth. And I was like, and then we both high-fived. And I was like, thanks, Dad. Love you.
Oh, my
Man
God.
was just like, he was like, get out of my restaurant or I'm going to have you trespassed. And he was like, I was like, it's my father.
He was a Karen/Ken before that was even a thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's so funny. My father's name is Ken, so
Oh,
I find
gotcha.
it absolutely hilarious. No, I find it hilarious. But yeah, no, he
Or
was
Kevin
he
or
was,
whatever the
yeah,
male
he was
yeah.
he was Karening before Karening was a thing, and just sick burn, Dad.
That really does need to be a thing. The Better People Bureau.
Right? Like what?
If it isn't a thing, then somebody needs to start it.
That's probably my favorite what the fuck moment of my life is my father telling some random man because he had to put 8% gratuity on happy hour, which was already discounted anyways.
Oh my God.
That he was going to call the Better People Bureau on him.
Wow. Here's my funny one.
Okay.
And this is work related. So,
You're like, name redacted.
okay. So Samantha and I, our job, we're tech support, and that's about as far as I'm going to go with it for obvious
Mm.
reasons. So I had this call. My customer, she said, "Today's my birthday," and I said, "Well, happy birthday." She said, "Thank you," and she said, "I think there's something wrong with my Facebook." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" And now, keep in mind, number one, I don't work for Facebook.
I
Okay,
have an idea where this is going. Okay.
let's just get that out of the way. I don't.
You're like, I don't work for Facebook. We
Yeah,
don't work for Meta.
yeah. Try to call Meta or Facebook and
Mm-hmm.
tell me how that goes for you. But anyway, she says, "I'm getting regular notifications. My newsfeed, everything is looking good, but I haven't gotten very many happy birthdays on my timeline." And I literally had to mute my headset because I don't know if I said it out loud, but I know I thought, "What the fuck?"
Right.
So
Be like,
when
babes,
when I regained
let me hold your hand when I tell you.
when I regained composure, I'm like,
It's not Facebook.
I said, "Ma'am, you are getting other things on your timeline. Like any normal day, you're seeing things that are popping up like memes and stuff like that." She said, "Yeah, everything looks good." She said, "I just don't think I'm getting the amount of birthday wishes that I normally get."
Oh no. Like, you need to sit down and really take a look at your life, see how you treating people. That should answer why you're not getting as many as you normally do. How'd you act this past year?
Yeah. Well, I said, "Are you getting any?" She goes, "Yeah, I've gotten a few, just not as many as I normally would, or as I'm not getting as many as I think I should." I don't know exactly how she said it, but it was like so.
What a wild thing to say. Like, you should never assume that you're just going to get every one of your God knows how many friends to say happy birthday on your birthday every year.
Right.
Like, if I get birthday wishes on my Facebook, which I seldom check anyways, honestly, I'm just like, oh, people still know about me? Cool. People remember me? Ah, thanks, guys. Like, I don't expect it. Good Lord. Let me call up Facebook, be like, I'm sorry, can you please send a notice out to all of my friends list and be like, why are you not messaging your best friend in the whole world at her birthday? Like, come on now. That is truly what the fuck.
Yeah.
God forbid that woman ever listen to this and be like, that sounds awfully familiar. Be
I
like,
know.
we didn't say your name.
I didn't say your name.
And unless you told anybody, nobody's going to know it's you either.
Yeah. The company that I worked for before the company you and I work for now,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing tech support and I had a caller. I don't remember what her issue was with her device, but she made a point to tell me that she was in the adult film industry and she proceeded to give me the link to her website where I could, then, that's
Subscribe.
subscribe. And that was well, you know what? I think I might have said that my first thought was probably seriously, but
Like,
that could be loosely translated to what the fuck. I mean, they're kind of
yeah. Professional setting, what the fuck?
So I fixed her issue. Like I said, I don't remember what it was, but I fixed it. And then when I got home that night, I may or may not have went to the website and checked it out. But I'll just leave that to your imagination. But
You're like, be like, I mean, now I'm slightly curious to just be like, maybe I'll check it out. And it's like, and then you check it out and you're like, all right.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That's too funny.
So here's a food related what the fuck. When I was in the Navy, at one point I was stationed down in Texas. I started having sinus issues, and I went to the VA. Well, it wasn't the VA hospital. I had to go to the Air Force Hospital in San Antonio, which is where the Air Force boot camp is. So I was at Wolford Hall Medical Center, and they were doing some testing, and they told me that I had a deviated septum. Fancy way of saying that you have a broken nose, basically. So they're like, well, there's a couple things we can do. We can give you a mouthpiece to wear at night. I'm like, that's not going to work because I wouldn't be able to do that. They're like, well, we can do a surgery. We can fix your deviated septum. It's very minor. I'm like, let's do it. All right.
Give me a sweet rhinoplasty. No show.
So it was a rhinoplasty, and so they did it. I don't know for people that have ever had this before, but when they did, well, at least for me, what they did, they filled the sinus cavities on either side of your nose with these little balloons, for lack of a better word, right? And they had to stay in for I think a week. So for a week, I was completely congested, more than I am now, but no taste, kind of like with COVID. You couldn't taste shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm eating, but it's not really like eating for sustenance. Like I really
Right. I'm eating to make sure I don't pass away from like hunger.
exactly. So in Texas, there's this burger chain called Whataburger. It's like Burger King everywhere else.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've just never been to one.
It was my favorite burger place down there, and I went in a week later to get these balloons ripped out of my nose, which was an experience of itself. And I think I might have at least thought, what the fuck, as they were pulling them out of my
Yeah.
nasal cavities. But here's where I was going with this. When they pulled it out, my smelling was like, I swear to God, I could smell like a dog. I was still inside the hospital, and I could smell the Pizza Hut down the road. I could smell the Whataburger. I could smell any restaurant that was within like a 3-mile radius. I could
Right.
smell it.
You're like, did y'all give me spidey senses? Like, what the heck?
And I was hungry, and I finished up and I walked out. I'm like, okay, this is perfect time. It's lunchtime. I'm going to go to Whataburger, and I ordered a double with cheese. Like it's like a double Whopper with cheese. And
Yeah.
I was like salivating at this point. Like this, oh man, this is going to be so fucking good. I bit into it and I spit it immediately out. It's like my sense of smell was hyper. Like,
To the point that it was like over analyzing whatever it was smelling and tasting. And it was like,
and
too
then the
much.
taste of the burger, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like it wasn't matching up. Like the taste wasn't matching up with the smell, and my
Yeah.
brain was all kind of all weird. So I just like, I wasn't a Karen. I wasn't, saying there's something wrong with the burger. I
Yeah.
knew it was me. I mean, so
Yeah.
I had enough self.
It was like your senses were overloaded and it was like just too much. And it was like, no, this is too much, too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wasted, well, this was back in the 90s. So I probably wasted like $5 on a, value meal, whatever. But so one last thing, and we're going to wrap this up. I just happened to have Safari pulled up, and there's this news piece that's going on that one of my friends brought to my attention about the New Jersey drones. Have you heard about this?
No.
So supposedly, I guess since before Thanksgiving or something, there's been a shitload of drones flying around various parts of New Jersey, close to a property that Trump owns, his golf course or one of his golf courses or something. But people taking videos of these drones, some of them are supposedly car-sized drones, and the FBI is investigating. And this shit's getting wild. It's like Twilight Zone shit, right? So
What?
I'm sitting here. Okay, so I have CBS News,
Mm-hmm.
NBC News, Newsweek, New York Post, the different news agencies reporting about this, right?
Right.
And I clicked on, I'm not going to say which one I clicked on. You'll just have to figure that out for yourself. But I clicked on one, and it had supposedly a video of one of these things crashing. Not of the crash itself, but of like burning debris on a road.
Right.
So that was,
Was it a Tesla? Is that why it was cleaned up so fast? 'Cause
I don't know.
Tesla's crash, they're cleaned up within like 2 minutes.
Of course they are. Yeah, of course they are.
God forbid.
The same article goes on to say, well, these drone reportings have been constant since before Thanksgiving, and, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, except for Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day, these motherfuckers took a break.
Right. They're like, we got to eat our turkey. And then we're back on it the next day. I was going to say, I'm actually looking it up now. I see like it says more drone sightings in New Jersey. What in the heck?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. See if you can find the one that talks about, except, Thanksgiving Day, they took a break.
Yeah. In Morris County. Huh.
I wonder if these drone pilots are going to take Christmas Day off as well.
Oh, maybe.
Makes you wonder.
Maybe they'll take off like New Year's Day. Be like, we got too sloshed last night. We can't fly the drone. It's illegal to fly the drones drunk.
Right?
Because you have to have a pilot's license. My father had to get a pilot's license for it. And like,
Yeah.
can't get that pilot's license taken away.
Samantha, thank you very much for coming on to the show today. Hope you had a good time, and looking forward to hearing the episode when it airs.
I had a lot of fun. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Awesome.